Happy birthday to Kim Kardashian and happy birthday to me. It's October 21st, 2024, and I thought it'd be fun to look at Kim Kardashian's forecast for 2025. So welcome. My name is Lydia. This is the Feng Shui and Bazi Chinese Astrology channel. On this channel, I often like to read the charts of famous people because I think it helps us to better understand our own charts and our own lives. So welcome. If this sparks interest for you, please subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss a single video, and like it if it's something that you're enjoying. So I want to talk a little bit about what's going on currently with Kim Kardashian and leading into what's going on for her 2025, because this 2025 is going to be a massive year for Kim Kardashian. She's getting older. It's kind of like an amazing thing. She's born October 21st, 1980 at 9:35 in the morning. And so, yeah, next year she's going to be 45 years old. I mean, that's full on middle-aged Kardashian. So her 4 pillars, Bazi Chinese Astrology is based on 4 pillars: the year of Yang metal monkey, the month of Yang fire dog, the day of Yin fire rabbit, and the hour of Yin wood snake. Now, it's an interesting combination, her chart. Somebody born the month of or the day of a rabbit tends to be somebody who really is not as outgoing or extroverted as she appears to be, and definitely as far as going into her pursuit of being a lawyer, rabbits are sought out for being great negotiators. They're extremely sensitive. They do not like confrontation, which is interesting because she tends to be confrontational. Now, her monkey self is the part of her that kind of comes in with this hefty tool bag that's full of all the different things that she has got going on, from, you know, her clothing line to acting to the keeping up with the Kardashians, everything she's got going on, because she really likes to stay busy. She's a little all over the place. And so as we look at this, we can see that this is somebody who really likes to have her ducks in a row. She really needs things to be balanced. And, you know, she also wants to help people. I mean, that is something that shows up in her hour. And your hour is where we see your career. Now, this is where things are going to get interesting as we look at her now and where she's going. So Kim Kardashian is born in the hour of a Yin wood snake. She's got the monkey, all right? And that already shows that penalty, the fire penalty, that's going to be such a big player next year with a lot of people's astrology. Now, the pig, if the pig happens to be in your luck cycle, we all go through these 10-year luck cycles, or if it's somewhere in your astrology that you have a pig, that is your protection against the fire penalty, which is the monkey, the snake, and the tiger. So we have a semi-penalty here. And the fact that this hits her hour and her year really speaks of this being an overarching element of her life, dealing with legal problems. You think of how her career started with the leak of the sex video, right? There you go. That's a perfect example of this kind of a penalty. And it also speaks of somebody who might deal with a lot of issues around money, around the law, which is interesting. Actually know somebody who has a full penalty in their chart and is a lawyer. And that's a very interesting way of kind of getting on top of your penalty and working with it. working with it. Really interesting when you see that. It shows a lot of ingenuity and intuition, which is signature of a snake, which shows up in her hour. It shows that she brings that serenity, sex appeal, that intuitive, innovative, and observant aspect into her career, those personality qualities into her career. And that her career really is, there's a lot about education, helping people, inspiring people, wanting to, like she has gone in as a baby lawyer. What did she say? She passed the baby bar. I've never heard of a baby bar or whatever. But she has gotten involved, like I know she's gotten involved with the Menendez brothers, who are currently really in the news. But she tends to play different roles. And a lot of this is kind of like the way that she gets backing, how she is supported, how she's learning, how she is inspired. It's both sides of that. And there's money in here, a lot of success and money, of rebelliousness and innovativeness and inventiveness, a creative energy, motivating. But she very much, and it's interesting that the snake in that hour, coupled with the monkey, really speaks of somebody who enjoys playing different roles. She wants to not only be Kim Kardashian, the brand, she also wants to be a lawyer. She wants to advocate for people. She also wants to do acting. So she's really got lots of things going on. Now, here's where things get interesting. When you look at the 5 elements, you really want to see a balance of between 15 and 20% of each element in order for a person to be balanced. She has, as a fire person, a very strong fire element at 30%. And she's also got balanced wood at about 20%. Her output of earth, which is the pattern of this chart because she's born in the month of the dog, really speaks of, that's balanced at 16%. Metal is strong at 30%. Water is hardly there at all. So there's nothing to control her. There is nothing to cool this chart down. It is too hot. And a chart that's too hot, what you really need to see is metal and water. But we don't see that. Her current luck cycle of yang water horse, that water surging in, is then challenged, right? It's challenged by all the fire. And this past 10 years has spoken very strongly of family, her responsibilities to all the things she's responsible for, and also romantic relationships. And certainly she has been through, I think Kanye West was probably the biggest part of her last 10 years as far as relationships. And then, because, obviously she's got her kids from him. So that's been very influential part of her journey. This has also been a 10-year journey of discovering herself and also her sisters, also her daughters. This has been the biggest influence for her. And all that she's doing. She's enjoying the power of her sovereignty, the power of who she is. But she is in a very hot time in her chart because she's just gone through the fire of the horse, and the horse with the dog and her month forms a semi-fire trio. So there's all that going on. You add to that in 2025, the year of the snake, she moves into a luck cycle of the snake. Very interesting. And this really speaks of dating and romance. It also speaks of possible health issues, and it also speaks of her bringing in revenue that is from lots of different sources, okay? And interesting because so you've got the luck cycle, the new luck cycle coming in of the snake, the year of the snake, her own hour of the snake. There is this overwhelm of of fire in her chart, all in next year. It feels like this is a massive reinvention of Kim Kardashian going into next year. And the snake speaks to transformation. This transformation is not obvious. It is deeply personal and internal. It is what is kind of motivating her reclamation of herself. Who am I now at this age, at this stage of my life? What roles do I want to play? Do I still want to be involved with keeping up with the Kardashians? Has that played out? And it's time for me to start looking at my acting career or some other creative outlet that I would enjoy. This also speaks of her sons, and that there is an under the current transformation unfolding for her. And again, there is success and money, like the direct flow of that success, but it is tucked under, it is not active. It feels like it's just a constant underground flow. But the new luck cycle is far more active income. And again, that is coming from things she's invested in, projects she's invested in, or inheritances, right? And in this next 10 years, it will be an interesting thing to see what's going on with her relationship with her sisters, because it feels like it's shifting. A lot is really shifting. And again, it's very subterranean. You know, those little earthquakes that move us along until one day we look up and we realize our life is completely changed and somehow we arrived here. Interesting. I wanted to check something real quick while I have you. I wanted to see if she had a nobleman's star in here, but she does not. So the other thing to remember is that next year she is going to have 3 snakes, all in a fire penalty with her year of the monkey. And this really seems to speak to me. I think there's real movement in this. There's some real movement in here. The thing I would caution as far as her health goes, because this chart is so hot. And when we look at different industries that we have that, you know, for example, acting is a fire element. Being a celebrity is a fire element. We are in period 9 in Feng Shui, which is the period, the 20-year period ruled by the element fire. And I mention that because it just is a very hot time. And one of the industries that will be the most, or one of the many industries, I should say, that we are going to see highlighted. And it's just like so amazing that as we have been entering into this age of Aquarius, age of awakening, age of truth, age of fire, that the entertainment industry has come under fire through P. Diddy Combs, Harvey Weinstein, all of these people. There was another one of those docuseries about children that grew up on like Nickelodeon, right? Kids growing up in the entertainment industry decades ago and what they went through, all the inappropriate behavior. And that we're going to see continue going into the next 20 years, for sure. So I mentioned that because for her, the work that she does, even being a lawyer, is the wood element. It nourishes her. It just re-inflames. What she really needs is water. Water is being in sales. Water is living by the water. It can also be things like communication. And so it's going to be very interesting to see what goes on health-wise for her. I would be concerned for mental health. I would be concerned for heart health, and I would be concerned for cancer. Just saying. Because cancer really breeds in a hot, dry chart, such as this. So water really is her best friend in these next 10 years. So I wanted to give you this little update. I think that this coming year is going to be very interesting for her. It directly mirrors her hour. And I think that her career is really going to go through a real transformation. I would venture, my guess is that she's going to get more involved with acting. Yeah. And I think there's also going to be more going on possibly with the law aspect, and maybe passing the bar and becoming a lawyer. We'll see. But it's kind of feels like, for the Kardashians, after all this time of reality television, that maybe it's time for a new iteration. And if the year of the snake begs for anything, is for us to accept that life is forever in flux and change. But there are some times in our life when that change demands that we really look inward and ask ourselves, what is my way forward? What am I willing to give up? What am I willing to let go of in order to create the space for what is coming? Yeah. So thank you so much for watching. I so appreciate your kindness and respectful comments, questions, all the things. And until next time, friends, be well.